Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Before I begin, let me take a moment to recognize, sadly, the 6 lives that have been lost this week in the war that we are presently engaged in, and our thoughts and our prayers are with their families, having made the ultimate sacrifice. Members of this committee, let me return to the subject at hand. And I would like to offer a different narrative for the actions of this administration, Madam Secretary, that you have taken in the name of diplomacy. I believe that musing about taking Greenland from Denmark, a valuable NATO ally, or making Canada the 51st state is insulting. It's insulting to our allies. It does nothing to advance U.S. standing abroad, nor is it in our national interest. Belittling our NATO allies, and by the way, it's nice to have friends, including Denmark, whose people, by the way, fought and died alongside American servicemen in the front lines in Afghanistan on a proportional basis, losing more lives, after NATO answered America's call to arms when we, for the first time, invoked Article 5 after 9/11, and they came as allies in force. Calling the brave president of Ukraine, B.T. Barnum, while he's working successfully to push back the invasion by that communist war criminal, Putin, our adversary, pushing back Russia against all expectations, is not right. Shutting down U.S. aid illegally, without the act of Congress, by the way. And now efforts to defund and undermine the voice of America, which serves to spread America's message abroad and provide unbiased news through the noise of authoritarian propaganda. The administrations continue to cut items in the State Department budget that are important to public diplomacy. Last January, I'm told over 10 ambassadors, Egypt and UAE and others, were notified that their services were no longer needed. We're in the middle of a war. We don't have an ambassador, I believe, at UAE today, or Egypt. That's got to be difficult. So while the United States spends this year $215 billion in public diplomacy, Russia and China spend a great deal more. I'm all for efficiencies in spending, but there's a point where the scale of resources is critical to carrying out our mission. And we are falling behind, I think, Madam Secretary, in this category. So I don't see how these actions make your job any easier. These actions undermine America's reputation globally. I've been active on this committee and with our European allies for years. And they tell me they're confused. They don't understand what they're doing. They ask me, what's going on in America? And when you look at poll after poll in European countries, our reputation is an all-time low. Madam Secretary, can you say, or really say, given these actions and public comments, that as President Reagan used to say, that America is that shining city upon the hill, anymore, as President Reagan used to say with great pride and love for our country? It's nice to have friends, and our allies are wondering what's happened to us, where we are. Can they still count on us, whether they be in Europe or whether they be in Asia? You've got a difficult job. Please respond.
Thank you, Congressman. Without question, America remains the shining city on a hill, and all else that Tocqueville and others over the years have extolled. I would say that, if it seems like we have some disagreements with our allies, like the Europeans, it's because we have a lot of conversations with them. We have conversations where we disagree, and we have conversations where we agree. I think American participation in the European
conversations are good, but belittling people and insulting our allies is not good.
It's You know what I would say, Congressman, is it's my privilege to steward tools that increase America's representation abroad, reputation abroad. So, for example, I recently signed a memorandum of understanding with the NFL, and sports. Some people think sports is soft, that it's trivial, but it's not. Sports brings people together in a way nothing else does.
Sports are important.
Sports are very important. So we're going to have flag football in the Olympics for the first time. I've advocated for that in the Brisbane,
And I
Australia.
hope you're going to give us the same support that Italy gave its nation for the Olympics this last month, for the Olympics in California.
I think the administration is hugely supportive of FIFA World Cup, Olympics, all of these mega sporting events. The convening power of sports is very well understood by President Trump and by my office. You know, I had the privilege of touring the Warsaw Uprising Museum when I was in Poland recently. And if you want to talk about, you know, increasing America's reputation abroad, sometimes American kinetic actions against totalitarian and other brutal regimes are the best thing we can do for
My
them.
time's expired, but the conversation to be continued, but the California delegation will be seeking out support as we prepare for the Olympics on behalf of America.
Thank you.
Thank you.